Hello everyone, you're watching Campus Channel. We are here today with EM Lyon to talk about their MSc in Finance. We are with the head of the program, Jean-Pascal Brivadi, and the student of the school, Hannah Buckman, here to take your questions. But first, let's start with the pitch. Welcome to Campus Channel, Jean-Pascal and Hannah.
Thank you.
We are here you have 60 seconds to present the school and the program. Who's gonna do it?
I will do it.
Okay, are you ready?
I hope so.
Let's go.
So, I will skip the school and focus on the program. First point, this MSc is among the top programs worldwide. We are not saying that, but you know, the rankings are saying that every year. Second, we are providing an outstanding experience with a lot of things out of the academic stuff, among which, you know, we have the learning trips, international learning trips, as well as we have also, you know, challenges, international challenges, and so on. Then this program is the opportunity to be in the middle of a huge mix of students with different nationalities, with teachers coming from everywhere, among which professionals, etc., etc. We have also the possibility to provide the students to the benefit of the EM Lyon network in terms of corporates as well as in terms of alumni.
Time's
Okay,
up.
perfect. You were really 60 seconds. Well, now we're gonna take the questions because, as you know, we are here for 40 minutes of chat. So I will ask you to read the first one, Jean-Pascal.
Well, the admission process has changed a bit this year.
Yeah.
It's now.
Can you please
sorry.
read it? Yes.
Excuse me. What are you looking for in an admission process? So the admission process has changed a bit this year. It's split between two different activities. The first one is a digital. Is based on a digital platform, and we are testing, as well as, in fact, we have implemented what the corporate banks, investment funds, etc., are using to test the capacities of the of the students or the future students in terms of technical skills as well as soft skills. And then, as long as they have cleared this digital process, they have to answer to a couple of questions that are about their motivation, that are about what kind of job they want to make after the program, and basically why they have chosen this program. I should add that on the top of that, we are also, of course, looking at the resume to make sure that we understand that everything is aligned on their student or the objectives the students are giving us.
And how can you prepare about this test? How do you advise the students to prepare about the test on this platform?
These tests are pretty, I should say, standard. This is tests about logic. This is tests about personal behavior. So as long as you are preparing tests for, once again, internships or tests for international selection programs like the GMAT, for instance, you have exactly the same kind of test. We have not reinvented, we have just improved a bit, and I think enlarged a bit the way we are gauging the different candidates.
Hannah, how was the admission test for you?
So I didn't do an admission test like it's proposed to do for the next year. As I remember, I had to do different motivation letters, and also I did like a face-to-face video. So I got I think it was about 5 questions which I had to answer, and I didn't know them before. And it was filmed during the whole process. So this was the admission process last year.
But it was in the school itself, or
No,
were
it
at
was via the laptop.
Because it is only for international students or for everyone?
No, it's for all students, exactly the
for
same
all
process.
Students. Okay.
Yeah, whatever they are coming from. Even if we have some partnerships for foreign universities, for example, they can propose their students to join the program, but anyway, they need to go through the selection process, which is based on the platform. And as I said, the platform is now split in two. You have these digital tests, and then you are moving to a 3 questions video. And these 3 question video are recorded on your laptop. The only thing that could be probably improved is that you do not see you when you are filmed. So we have sometimes some strange contributions.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hannah, can you please take the next question?
And the next question is it mandatory to speak French in order to follow the program? So when I applied, I was able to speak a bit French, but not fluent at all. So for me, it was not mandatory to speak French in order to follow the program, because my lectures have been all in English. In our program, someone was able to choose between French and English, and I chose the English track. So it was not mandatory to speak French.
Okay, so the same program is proposed in both in French and in English.
Yes and no. Let me explain.
Yes.
Last year, this was the first session of this program, MSc in Finance. And at that time, we have effectively proposed, what I could call a dual track, i.e. the same courses in French and in English, most of them, because for some courses they are just proposed in English. What we would change for next intake is that the program will switch mostly in English, okay, and specifically for what we call the common track. I mean, the first part of the program, it will be only proposed in English. So to answer precisely and come back to the question, the answer is no, you don't need to speak French. I would say that just, coming in France is the opportunity to learn French or to improve your French if you want, considering that we are also proposing language courses as an option. So if you want to improve your French, you can.
Okay, thank you. Jean-Pascal, can you read the next question,
Are
please?
the classes theoretical or is it mainly practical with case studies, for instance? I should say both. I mean, the first part of the program is mostly oriented to the acquisition of academic knowledge, okay, and it's delivered by professors. Most of them are coming from, the EM Lyon Business School. The second part of the program is dedicated to, I should say, professional experience, and approximately 60 to 70% of the content is delivered by professionals.
Professionals.
Professionals. Okay. Well, in different fields. Typically, if you want to, listen about private equity, you will have a presentation delivered by private equity fund managers or M&A professionals. So, I should say, corporate bankers. When we are talking about financial communication, one of the lectures is delivered by the head of a financial communication agency. The second one is delivered by a former private equity director who is in charge of the communication between the companies held by the fund and the fund itself, etc., etc. So it's a mix, and all of that is of course backed by practical application cases. And as far as the second part of the year application cases are concerned, they are based on real cases, or we also ask students to deliver an expertise or deliver, propose solutions regarding a current situation.
Okay, and Hannah, how was the courses for you?
The courses have been really interesting. So we got both possibility options. We had some theoretical classes and also classes with case studies. So we always started with the theoretical approach. So we got introduced into the topic and then got the chance to implement it. So it was really interesting because we had a broad spectrum of different classes and different fields, and it was really interesting.
And was it what you were expecting from the program?
Yeah, I've seen the program before, and I knew that we will get the chance to see many different topics. So it was as I expected. Yeah.
And what's your favorite course?
So currently we started our second semester, and I took the specialization in innovation finance. So and we started with a class, it's called Strategy Business Model. And this is currently my favorite class because we got a case in an M&A process where we analyze the M&A transaction from two companies. And we have a really, really good professor who is helping us a lot with this case. And yeah, this has been my favorite class today.
Perfect. And what was the most useful thing that you learned during the program? That you're still learning, in fact.
Yeah. So so when I did my bachelor, I learned it a lot, the theoretical approach, and the most the thing that I learned a lot was to take it into practice, because this school is very practical oriented. And I think this was really important for me, because putting the theoretical thing into practice is not that easy and different when you haven't done it before. So this was the main thing I learned, probably, and I will also learn in the next coming months.
All right. Can you please read the next question?
Hello, I would like to know what are the advantages of the specialization in corporate finance and innovation in comparison with market and quantitative finance. So as I said, I have chosen the innovation track, and I cannot say how it is in the quantitative finance, because I don't have so much classes in the quantitative finance, but I can say something for the innovation specialization. So the innovation track is, as I said, with a lot of case studies. I think we will do a lot of projects with many students together, and we will get the chance to see M&A processes. We will be involved in the innovation finance topic, and as it's already still started a couple of weeks ago, we are really excited to see what we are going to learn in the upcoming months. But for the moment, I can say it goes in the direction innovation, really practical oriented, and yeah.
Can you tell something about the second specialization?
Yeah, well, I will say it's very difficult to talk about advantages. I mean, you want to work on the markets, or you want to work on the other side, i.e. corporate means generally three different type of activities. You are M&A, you are private equity, you are, let's say, advisory, globally speaking, and you are leveraged finance. So there is no advantages. There are some differences according to what you want to do later, okay? On the market, outside the market, even if both are strictly connected. Well, what I would say is that as far as market finance is concerned, you want to work on the markets, and then what you will do there. You can be quantitative guy. I mean, you want to elaborate strategies in order to run portfolio management, you want to work on trading floors, you want to etc., but you want to compute anyway. Okay, so that's for you. You want to work on the markets, but you want to consider, sales, you want to advise companies, you want to issue large operations and so on. This is the second part. Okay, two different words. The opportunity that we try to give to the students is that you can choose a bit later than before entering the program.
Okay, and Hannah, why did you choose this specialization? Where do you want to work with?
So I choose the specialization because it deals a lot with forecasting methods, with valuation, with the innovation and finance. So this was really interesting for me. So and we got in touch with this topic in the first semester, and I really enjoyed the classes we had, because we already had some introductions in some topics that we will have in the innovation finance track. So yeah, I got the introduction there, and it was really interesting for me. So that's why I have chosen this specialization.
Okay, thank you. Jean-Pascal, can you read the next question, please?
I would like to know if the school prepares for the CFA and the Bloomberg certificate. So for the second one, no. But for the first one, well, yes. When we have reorganized the program last year, we have, considered to embark within the program all the contents of most of the contents required by the CFA level 1 and 2. Okay, and nowadays a small group of students, I think something like 10 students of the program, have decided to prepare specifically the CFA on the back of what we are on. So what we are proposing is to say, okay, if we look at the content of the program, not only finance but also accounting, but also legals, but also ethics and so on, we have paid attention to be aligned on the requirements of the CFA 1 and 2, as well as the CAIA, which is a bit different. It's alternative management. But we have done that, and we are currently discussing with the CFA on one hand and CAIA on the other hand in order to be registered by them.
Okay, thank you. Well, now we're going to take a short break with the questions because, as you know, every school has a reputation, and now we're going to find out which are the clichés there about this program and EM Lyon. All right, what's cliché number one?
Cliché number one is EM Lyon baseline is, early makers, and it's not about finance. Okay, so this program is here to remember that if you want to study at EM Lyon, you can also focus on finance. This year we have welcomed 140 students coming from 35 different nationalities, Asia, Europe, as well as North America. And we are preparing them to, corporate finance. I mentioned earlier private equity, M&A, advisory, globally speaking, as well as leverage finance, and with a mix of traditional content as well as innovation, because finance is changing pretty well. And on the other hand, we are also preparing for those who are interested in that field. To market finance, markets on one hand, and more quantitative finance on the other hand, which is just one part of the way you can access to the markets.
Okay, and do you have a cliché, Hannah?
Yeah, so there are most of the people have a financial background, I would say, but so there's also the option so we also have in our program some people with other backgrounds, engineering or law. So the cliché is that I think most of the people coming from with financial background, but there are also options with different backgrounds, I think. Yeah.
Okay. These are all the clichés you have on mind?
Maybe
it's sufficient if don't
it's
worry.
Enough? Okay, we stop here.
I'm just asking to be sure. Okay. Well, we get back to the questions.
Okay.
And, Hannah, if you want, read the next one.
Hello, I have a friend that did this MSc last year and he was very satisfied. So I would like to know if you are innovating the program through the different years, or next year it will be the same program. So as I heard, the program will change a bit because I was contacted also by a student who will be who was selected for the program next year. So I heard that the like you said, the first semester will be just in English, and there might be just 2 specializations instead of 4, how it was this year. But this is all I know for the program next year, so maybe you can answer better.
Well, two things. First, we're trying to simplify the organization. I mean, last year that was the first year, and we, implemented 4 different tracks. So basically, I should say corporate finance, which is mostly in French, and then, innovation in finance, which is the combination between innovation in finance and corporate finance, and 2 specialization as well as market finance concerned. We are joining them in 2 blocks, corporate finance and market finance. Okay, but we are keeping some specificities, and in that way we're investing in what is changing in finance, and things are changing in different ways. Of course, we had talked a lot about digital and so on. I'm not saying here that we are just providing online content. I'm just saying that digitalization is part of the way education is changing, and the way the jobs in finance are changing as well. So we are developing such topics in the new version of the program, as well as we are putting some emphasis on what the financial sphere is considering as the next step. Typically, SRI and governance, that is becoming more and more and more the sort of, I should say, mainstream part of finance, with some connection problems. But anyway, we have also things considering innovation in products. I will not enter into further details, but trust me, things are changing. There's a lot of new products that are issued, and we keep on changing a bit the way we are presenting them to the students. And something maybe also that is the way to use IT within finance, and the way students tomorrow will have to cope with more IT, whatever the name is, i.e. artificial intelligence or programming or whatever.
Very interesting. Can you please read the next question?
Mr. Brivadi, I would like to know where will be the learning trip next year if I choose the market and quantitative finance track. That's a good question. Well, it will depend on the coronavirus. No.
Students.
Well, basically, one of the specificities of our program is that we have 2 learning trips. I mean, the students have 2 learning trips. The first one is more, let's say, oriented to the way we see the world changing. Behind this formula, there is the idea of putting students in a situation, in a region where they are not learning a specialty, a technical specialty, but they are considering the way people are doing the business there that may be different from the one they are used to. Basically, we have 2 campuses, one located in Shanghai, not very in fashion today, but located in Shanghai, and then we have another one that is located in Casablanca.
Okay.
So in Shanghai, that's, let's say, to make it short, doing business in China, and in Casablanca, it's doing business in Africa, because Africa is developing very fast. And that's very attractive, specifically for our, Asian-based students that are more interested in moving to Africa and traveling to Africa instead of traveling to Asia. And then there is a second, I should say, learning trip, but more business trip, because it comes at the end of the specialized track, and it's fully oriented to the implementation of what they have learned during this specialized track. This year, honestly, it will depend also on global issues. I'm not able to, so that's I'm not necessarily able to answer yet to the question. But this year, it's split between the UK and the US, and we have 2 destinations in the US, New York and Boston. So Boston.
So students can choose either one.
Well, it depends of the special track they have chosen. Typically, innovation is Boston, because Boston is the place to be in terms of innovation.
Okay.
If you exclude the West Coast.
And market is more.
Market is between
UK.
New York and London, but London is not uninteresting. It's just because if you want to look at a job or to apply for a job in Europe, it's more interesting to have first experience in London than to have a first experience in New York, because the way business is run is closer in London than in New York. So at the end of the day, next year, to answer to you the question that is asked, I will say that definitely there will be in an Anglo-Saxon destination, But according to the Brexit, according to global considerations, I'm not able to answer right now.
Okay.
We will fix this question before the end of the semester.
Okay, so you still don't know where you're gonna go for your learning trip, Hannah?
I already know it.
No, for next year.
Next
year. I
year.
thought it was
Okay.
for next year.
So I did my first learning trip to Shanghai. And as I have chosen the innovation finance track, my business trip will go to Boston. Yeah, and it's in the end of the second semester, so we'll be in June.
In Shanghai, did you like it?
Yes, of course. It was really a really interesting learning trip, as I've never been to China before, and we have been there for a couple of days, so we got the chance to see different companies. And it was really interesting how the Chinese people are doing their business, and I learned a lot. Yeah.
Okay, and so you were visiting, and they were explaining to how it happened. What were you doing during the days?
So we got a schedule for the week, and so we visited different companies, startups, a big company, and then we also did a project where will be super interesting to invest in China. So we also studied during the learning trip in Shanghai, and then we had a bit of free time where we discovered the city, and so
Great.
mix of all.
Good emotions.
Yeah.
Can you please read the next question, Hannah?
Hello, I have a bachelor in business administration. Would it be a problem to follow the program? I also have a bachelor in business administration, so it's not a problem at all.
Okay. So what are the backgrounds that you privilege that you're looking for?
I should say 80% of the students are coming from business administration, management, etc. programs, where they are trained to, or they have learned already a lot of things regarding business and finance, globally speaking, and we have around 15% of students who are coming from engineer background, from an engineer background or a legal background. That's why we have a common track where we are aligning the levels of all students. I would add, as far as the degree is concerned, that we are mainly recruiting students with the equivalent of Master 1 degree, okay? And by exception, but it's not us, it's because of the rules we are submitted to, by exception, less than 20%, with a 3 years bachelor degree. Okay, so then for these ones, as well as we have some constraints, we are a bit more selective regarding the application.
Okay, perfect. Well, now we're going to take another short break because it's time for Final Destination. Okay, Hannah, I'm going to ask you to choose a little paper. There is a sentence that is not completed, and I will ask you to read it and to complete it with your own words.
The wildest person in my class is the wildest person. Let me think about it. That's an interesting question. Wildest person. How do you define wild?
Well,
it's interesting. I think a wise person for me is someone who is thinking totally different. There are many people who are thinking different, and this is a really good a support for our projects, because then you'll see different points of views and has different impacts. And I think this is for me a wildest person in our program.
Perfect. Oh yeah, you said also that you have students from different horizons, so a lot of points of view, a lot of different intelligence.
Yeah.
So perfect. Well, thank you very much, Hannah. We're gonna take back to the questions.
Yeah.
Would you read the next one, please?
Can you please give more information on the final thesis? Is it mandatory?
Maybe I could take this one,
yes,
because it's a bit technical and related to the program.
Yes, and then you're gonna tell me if you're writing a thesis.
Yes.
It is mandatory. I mean, if you want to validate the program, you need to do, or you need to pass 3 things. First, the first period, the academic period, which is lasting 9 months, and then you need to make an internship of at least 4 months, but generally when companies are recruiting an intern, it is for minimum of 6 months. Okay, and then you have to write and defend a thesis, professional thesis, that is mostly based on your professional experience, but also it's a combination between this professional experience and the knowledge you have acquired. So you need to demonstrate through this thesis that you are mastering the content and that you are able to propose some solutions and so on. It's a 50-60 pages document. It's under the supervision of a prof that you have chosen. And, well, generally it's always the same story, because it's something you are doing after you have left the program and during your internship, or when you are just starting to work. So you have a lot of pressure, you have a lot of job, and it's generally a bit demanding to be able to run the 2 things at the same time. But you have to do it anyway.
Okay. So Hannah, tell me about it.
Yeah,
How do you feel you're writing a thesis?
So I didn't start yet, but I'm also mandatory to do it. So as the program will finish in June, I will do it afterwards. So of course I will also write my thesis.
And what is the deadline? After you're starting June to write it, and you have to give it when?
So the deadline will be end of December this year. To graduate in February next year. Yeah.
Okay, and so you need to have also your professional experience, like an internship. And did you find an internship already?
Yeah, I'm super lucky. I already found my internship, and I will start after finishing my lectures at Lyon. And so I got the chance to visit the campus days at the Lyon, where we see many different companies. And due to this contacts, I got a really good contact to a company, and that's why I found also my internship.
Great. Can you please read the next question?
Yeah, I love this one, because every year I have the same. What distinguishes the MSc from other programs in finance in France? What is for sure is that we have a common name, because all business schools are delivering a master program in finance. Most of the business schools, I would say. What makes probably the difference, well, I should say now, when we compare EM Lyon Business School MSc in finance with the other ones, apart from what I said during the pitch, i.e. we are among the best ranked programs and so on, is that we are trying to integrate things that are changing in our environment. I mean, an M&A process is and will remain an M&A process, but if you want to adapt, typically, and to make the difference when will you apply for a job position, there is the technique and there is also the behavior. And when you are applying to a large bank, for instance, people are not only considering what you are able to apply from a technical point of view, or to deliver from a technical point of view, but the way you are behaving, in order to make sure that if they start to invest on you, they will be happy to keep you. Okay, so typically this is this kind of things we are providing. So we are not only providing content relative to financial techniques, but also soft skills, because we consider that this is key. And we are as academics, but also we are former professionals, or according to our we have an academic board, composed by professionals that is giving us some feedback regarding the content of our program. And this is what is leading us to adapt the program in order to improve it and to improve the employability of our students.
Okay, and Hannah, why did you choose this school, this program? For the program you said already a little bit, but why you choose this school?
So I was interested in finance, and I was looking for an MSc in finance, especially in France. I'm not from France, I'm from Germany. And I found EM Lyon very, very quickly. It was really recommended, and the program has been super interesting for me, with its broad spectrum, different views and different topics, and that's why I've chosen EM Lyon with the international point and with the good program. Yeah, this was the reason why.
And you're happy?
Yes.
Yes. Great. Can you please read the next question, Hannah?
Yeah. Hello, my son wants to integrate your MSc, and I would like to know more about the career prospects after graduation. As I said, so there are some career days at EM Lyon where different companies come to the school and present the companies, and you get the chance to visit the career days and to get in contact with the companies, and then so EM Lyon is helping you a lot with the process, with getting in contact with different companies. So you can always contact professionals from the school and ask for help in applying for preparation interviews. So you get a lot of support from the EM Lyon. So I think there are good options and possibilities to get it really, really quick.
Okay. And you, Jean-Pascal, can you tell me what kind of companies are coming to the university? You can say the names, so don't worry.
Well, this is not promotion.
And what kind of work?
Let's say, well, historically, and this is still a large part of the companies who are recruiting, you have the so-called advisory firms. So typically EY, KPMG and so on. We have very close relation with them. They are looking for the expertise of our students, and they are recruiting roughly 25% of the students that are coming out from the program every year. Then we have the investment banks, okay, that are also at the same time the competitors of the former ones. And we have also a very close relation with them, some of them more specifically because of the history, because of the close relation we may have with some of their managers, because we have also alumni within their top managers. So for all that reasons, this is probably the second, employment. This is the second part of the industry where we are sending our students. And then we have a couple of other specialties depending of the tracks chosen by the students. We can discuss about the funds, asset managers, we can discuss about private equity and so on.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. This was all the time we had for questions, but don't worry, you have 2 minutes to conclude with our last section called Extra Time. 2 minutes, totally. So,
Anna,
start.
I would say, so the program, I would like to describe it's really diverse. So you can see many different topics. You get the chance to work with students in group. You get the chance to work very theoretical, to work with the professors really close. And so I think it's a really good option to see the broad field of finance. You will learn a lot, you will be challenged a lot, and that's why I think it's really diverse, also regarding the point that we are many international students, so many different point of views, and yeah, this is my description.
Great description. Thank you, Hannah.
Okay, what could I add to that? So as I said, I will insist on that maybe, apart from please join this program, but apart from that, what is for sure is that we are investing. I mean, we, the school, but also the profs, we are investing in order to be able to deliver, cutting edge trainings to the students, whatever the way we are catching it, i.e. it can be in terms of pedagogy, it can be in terms of content, because content is changing pretty fast, it can be in terms of, job opportunities, because as Hannah said, we have developed and we are, keeping a large, close contact with a huge network of large companies. So for all of that reasons, yes, we believe we can bring huge opportunities and an outstanding experience to the students who are ready to join us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Well, this was all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time on Campus Channel.